Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Oh boy, people. What's up, friends? Welcome back to the TV Terminal. My name is Adam Vale, senior editor over at thecoalition.com.
And I'm Josh Lamage, writer for the Coalition. Crazy.
Oh, crazy. Wild. Luke, you fooled us. You fooled us. Holy moly. I did not see that coming. Real quick, everybody. Hopefully you have watched this episode. This is season 1's finale of Revival, episode 10, Rend the Veil. If you have not seen it on Syfy, I will tell you to hold off on this. We're going to spoil it like usual. You already know how this goes. But man, this is something you really need to see. This episode, it was quality. It was quality. It's a secret. Don't worry about that. But this was special. This episode was definitely special. A lot happened, a lot of surprises. Just giving you a heads up if you haven't seen it, because I know the whole Syfy week early, so people only on Peacock. If you want to spoil it, fine, go ahead. We're going to talk about this typical fashion. Jump in the comments. Let us know what you thought of the episode, what you think is going to happen in the future. Hopefully there is a season 2. This show definitely needs a season 2. So tell your friends, your family, your neighbors, the weird guy down the block. Tell everybody to watch this show wherever it pops up in front of them. Not this show here. Yeah, fine, cover this one. That's great for us. But no, the show itself, it needs the ratings. It needs reviews. It needs all that engagement. All this helps also. You know, we have cast members and other people part of the show that have jumped in and commented in support. They see that we're talking about the show positive. We enjoy it. We do honestly enjoy this show. And it's going to need all of that. Hopefully we do get season 2. But anyway, just that out the way. Just want to clear that up. And also, if you have watched this, then you know what. Let's just kick it off right now. Boom, let's start this. I did not see this coming. Lester, are you kidding me? Nope. This whole time we're thinking Deputy Brent's brother, right? He's been MIA. He was only mentioned that one time. It's like, oh, I got a twin, and we sort of saw that a little bit with Jesse in the rear view, and we're like, oh, okay, this is definitely him, right? This is going to be the big reveal. But no. What the hell, man?
There's a lot to unpack here. I feel like we should go through it, and just pace it with what it is. I just want to, just so everyone's treated with the same kind of vibe that we felt going through this with the questions we had. Before we just jump right into this, I want to just say thank you to some of the people that have commented. To Zotonics, thank you again. L Boys, is that the Luke that you're talking about?
Yeah. The producer jumped in, chimed in. He kept a low profile. That's another reason why I didn't really want to blow it up anywhere, because I also cover The Walking Dead on the main channel. We've had issues, certain people, and if once you bring it up and bring attention, then they get flooded. People are acting and the whole thing. And there was somebody else that commented and realized, like, hey, do you see who's in here? I was like, okay, it's cool.
Even if it is, or if it isn't, that's pretty cool as well. Obviously, it's great to comment on your works, and see what people are saying about your product. I mean, that's always a great thing.
Of course.
Nigel M48, I want to say thank you for your comments and some of the questions you had for us. We hopefully can answer. And Scott USA Game, cool names all around. Thank you for your comments.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Rend the Veil.
Rend, oh man, go ahead. When I first saw this, I'm like, it sounds like a saying. It sounds like something that it's sort of like a carpe diem type of deal. And you found it, I found it, whatever. And
it's funny because most of the time some of the titles are brought up in the episode or alluded to, or it's a title or something. This doesn't really get brought up, but Rend the Veil is a phrase with religious and spiritual connotations, often referring to the act of removing a barrier or obstacle to spiritual understandings or access to God. And in Christian context, it most notably refers to the tearing of the veil in the Jewish temple upon Jesus' death. symbolizing the end of the old covenant and the opening of direct access to God and the people that believe. So this episode, very, very deep rooted in religious stuff. I did not, I was wondering, aliens, was Blaine just kind of crazy for believing in all this stuff? There's a lot that gets answered here, and a lot of the things that I did not expect with this show. I thought it was going one way, and it diverted into a completely different path. But great.
Sorry. I was just, all these comments are coming in. This was surprising. Just from all that, maybe it was said in the church. You know what? Let's get into it. This episode started off with this fantastic speech from Blaine.
In these dark weeks, we have heard over and over this term, revival. A sacred word meant to represent spiritual renewal. That word has been hijacked and defiled by a plague of revenants, of revivers who now walk amongst us.
Woo, Steven Dog. Oh, fantastic actor. Oh, fantastic.
He just has it out for them. He just really does.
He does, but he has a lot going on. Remember, that was the other thing that came up with all of this, and we'll get into it. But it's his family. It's what happened with the Cypress's family, with Wayne and his dad, and he's dealing with a lot of issues. Now, not all of this gets answered in this episode, which leaves wiggle room for future seasons. That's fine. But man, that was deep. That's how this episode kicked off.
He says something right after this. He says in Revelations, John talks about the serpents that are cast out, the demons, and when you cast out the demon, the serpents go with it. So I guess he was hoping that if he, banishes M as he's done with the other people, that somehow everything would be stopped.
Right? Well, that was his plan. That's what he said. Remember when he went to visit everyone at the revival meeting back in with the bartender with all her many jobs, and she had that little powwow going on with all of them, is that she was like, he's like, I'm going to get rid of all of you. And he realized that when they would go to interact with the angel, then they would die. So he's like, oh, this is it. I'm just going to bring them all here. They're all going to touch my angel and banish you to hell. That's it. Off. Be gone. Be gone. But that's not how this panned out. It seems like there was a lot more to it, which we sort of figured out. And
he has M like chained up to like a crucifix or something. It looks like it's kind of like sideways on the ground. So she's just like, all of this is very biblical, and he's literally like live streaming this to his radio show
on the radio
as he's doing this.
And this is in the 1990s. People, that was one other question. A lot of people came. It's like, oh, what, social media? No. This is before all that, which is great, because if it wasn't, there's no secrets, right? It'd be all over TikTok, YouTube. It'd be a mess.
Yeah. So what year is this? It was like 2000 and
this was what was it? They were saying 2000. Sorry, yeah. Did I say 1990s? Wrong. 2009, around that time.
Yeah, it
was during that time period.
Because we see a grave later on, and we see the date of 2005, and so we know that they should have been gone for a while. But
and somebody else in the comment mentioned a connection with the car. That's how this person picked it up. It's like, oh, I saw this car, and I remember this car from that time period. I'm like, there you go. We got detectives in the comments over here.
It's crazy how easily like time has flown from that time, and so sometimes you just don't really process all the things you don't. Like you take for granted, you know what I mean? Like, there were some things that I'm like, oh, like why doesn't she just call or this and that? It's like, wait, oh wow.
Yeah. Let's see. Even you probably don't remember. I remember always having a bunch of quarters with me, because when I was out there skating, doing whatever, it's like if I had to call my mother, mom, I had to go find a payphone, and I had quarters to make a payphone. If I couldn't do that, there was always 1-800-collect. And if I didn't have it, if I was calling somebody and they didn't want to get charged, then I could just say the street that I was at. So it's like, oh, what's your name? 28 and 6. And then when they would hear 20, they knew I was at 28 and 6. And then there you go. That was the workaround for 1-800-collect, which is gone now. But or maybe it isn't. I haven't called it in a long time. But I think that'd be funny to call from a cell phone. It's like, what are you doing?
So Em looks at Blaine and she's like, you didn't keep me dead the first time. You're going to keep me dead this time. And he looks at her and he's like, I didn't lay a hand on you, but my angel will.
Yeah. We get that now with the whole thing with the angel. But again, I was expecting I put too much on this whole thing with Blaine's brother. I was like, oh, he's gonna say.
You mean not Blaine's brother?
I'm blanking.
Brent's
I'm
brother.
sorry, Brent's twin brother, who does not pop up. And I was like, well, he's not going to call him an angel.
Did they say that just to throw us off? Like, is that?
But here's the thing, though. He says, when my angel returns, his angel's gone, as we saw with Jesse. Jesse freed that angel. And then it turns out that was Jesse's angel, right? Because then Jesse touched and then poof, it was a happy ending, right?
But then he knew that there was another angel appearing. So I guess there's like some kind of cycle that comes out of Moore Creek, because he already knew he had his henchmen, his cult followers, whatever it may be, there already, and they were the ones that got shot in the previous episode, because he takes his walkie-talkie and he's calling out to them. He's like, all right, hello, anybody there? And no one's answering. And we didn't see who shot them. We saw some guy with a sniper, or we didn't know, shoot somebody. And I'm over here like, oh man, who's this? Another character? Like, how deep is this rabbit hole? But I mean, everything gets answered here. But Blaine starts singing some religious song, and then it pans over to Ibrahim. He's there in the pew. He's cuffed. He's just watching this. And then Blaine says something. He goes, you do know my father foretold this, that an angel of the Lord would reveal itself to me. And when he saw that light, he said that it was beautiful. It's nothing like he's ever seen. And the angel spoke to him in pain and agony, and it said Rose's name.
So crazy. So this is where I got a little thrown off. It says Rose's name. We know the connection with Blaine and Rose. That's his friend, right? That's his buddy. When you hear this, you're like, oh, you did do it. And then he even says, no, I didn't do anything to her. But then what does that have to do with Rose on his end? Because we know what happened to Rose. Well, we find out later in this episode, the full story, the real story. Blaine's not involved in that.
And it's apparent as we go on with this episode that he is not as involved as we thought he was.
No.
He was an observer. He was trying to make sense of everything. Yes, he probably heard this being, the soul thing, crying out, and heard her name and felt that it was something evil, and felt that something was going on, and maybe he felt that it took Rose, or he didn't really know, but when he found it, he knew that he needed to do something with them. And he also brings up that the celestial cannot be touched by human flesh, and he shows his hand is all burned up and stuff. And
that's what we saw before. We saw that when he recruited that young guy, and then everyone else had it when they had their own little chant. It takes a while to create a chant, as somebody, we're supporters of a soccer club, and you can't just make something up. It takes some time. So
takes some rehearsing.
So I'm thinking that this was planned out, or he knew what we needed. It just seemed too fast. I mean, this is just me. People are like, what the hell is he rambling? A chant? But remember, they had that song. They knew the chant.
Oh, when they sent the new member over to
when they did the new member and all that.
Yeah, so they had it for like a while.
That's what I'm saying. So they must have prepared for something.
That, or they were ready. I mean, because it seems like he had his radio show for a minute. So
yeah, well, he's always been prophesied.
Maybe,
you're right.
Maybe he already had a cult like following, and
he already had some ramble script written down. He was like, I could use it now. Here we go.
But this answers everything right now. When Blaine said that the human, you can't be touching this being, Ibrahim looks at him and he goes, I saw one too. I saw it connect with the reviver, not in an act of damnation, but an act of reunion.
Jordan.
You want your father to be right so badly that you're willing to do anything to prove it. So now he's questioning Blaine's insanity, or sanity, I guess. And I mean, we've known this from the start. He has some kind of like thing that he wants to his status. He wants to like redeem himself in some way and prove that he's the special person that his father had wanted it to be.
Well, we saw it in the last episode during the interrogation. Wayne had said, you ran your mother out, right? She was ashamed of you and the whole thing, and your father, and he got killed, right? They killed the father. If I'm mistaken, they said his father was murdered. No, maybe. I don't know. In the comments, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
something.
No, they said your father was killed or something. So
yeah. So something happened. And I guess Blaine decided to just pick up where his father left off and just kept going with the whole prophecies of something happening. And sure enough, it does. He's pretty lucky. What's the chances of all? I mean, there's a lot of people out there rambling all kinds of things, but for it to actually happen in your town on this level, then yeah, you probably feel like, man, Dad was right all along. He knew it was going to happen here. Maybe he did. Maybe it's a flip of a coin type of situation. But
I love Ibrahim's character here specifically. It's funny because like when it comes to romantic things, he's completely oblivious, taking a massive L with that every time. But with just understanding these creatures and everything that was happening, he says something else here. He goes, "The reviver you tortured," which he's in reference to Wanda. He goes, "What did Wanda say before you killed her?" And she said, "It's not mine."
It's not mine.
Then he brings up Islam, and he says, when we believe when a person dies that they leave their body and they're stuck in this, intermediate realm. And he's saying that the light was M. You witnessed something you can't explain, and you've assigned it a variable based on conviction. And then Blaine goes, "I'm a man of conviction, and I'm not going to stand idly by as the gates of hell are open at my doorsteps."
It's deep. Blaine's getting deep. All this is deep, both of them. I mean, definitely, and he even Blaine pointed out with Ibrahim, he's like, "Oh, I thought you were a man of science, and you're over here talking about religion." And he's like, "Well, he's open to everything. No, you gotta,
see especially with everything he's seeing, right?
Yeah, you gotta see all.
But I love the idea that he said, "It's not mine." I don't remember her saying that.
We heard something screaming. Remember, screaming. No, yeah, it was screaming. It's a lot of screeching, and it's one of those we played it a few times, but. So that's it,
So I guess when you're near one, because so right now we're saying, and we know the answers later on, but for now, we're saying that these beings, these celestial beings, are tied to the revivers.
It's like your soul.
Yeah, your soul. And if you're near one that's not your soul, it's not going to react well with you.
No.
And will, I guess, obliterate you. And then the one that it belonged to is not going to be well either. It was separated. Now it's a soulless. The soul is a bodiless thing.
Yeah. It doesn't match up. So yeah, but we see that Dana and Wayne, they tried to show up, as we saw in the last episode. They figured out it's the right location, according to Lester. It's like, hey, saw some shady people bringing in a woman over at that old church. They show up, they get busted right away. Some officers, they are some do some sneaking.
Lester spoiled that, and this gets answered. But I was like, what's up with this guy, bro? Like, he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Like, what was his?
No.
This could have went a completely different way.
Yeah. Could have.
They enter the church, Wayne and Dana. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, M!" They see M chained to the.
She's all. I mean, it's got to be something. Like, put yourself in this perspective, right? That's happens. You walk in, you see a church, all these wackadoodles hanging around. You got Blaine up on the front, mouthing off some stuff. Now, what I'm wondering is with the radio, it would have been great if all the people heard it. Like, we sort of heard the echo, but I'm wondering if that was. I'm assuming it was going live, right, to the rest of the town.
Yeah,
and it's probably just staying in the town. I don't know if it has a signal to go outside of town. You know what I mean? Because yes, the town is under quarantine, but what about the radio type of thing? Like, is that going to come up later on where people show up and it's like, "Oh, what are you doing here? I know what happened. I heard Blaine's radio show. I want to see these angels." But it could be. Yep. He walks in, both of them, they're surprised. They can't believe it. "Em, are you okay?" They're nuts. They just can't believe all this stuff that's going on. Blaine starts mouthing off about all the rambling.
Yeah, we find more lore about Wayne. It seems like he's wronged everybody in this town at some point. So,
his family. Remember, we heard that even before. It's like there's something when Don over at the reservation area, he even said, he's like, "I don't want anything to do with Cypress," right? The Cypress family. So it could go further back. We could have like I don't know if it works like the Yellowstone and it's like 1883, 1923, and it's like we'll have a revival 1964 or something like that, and go way back and like see like his grandfather, Wayne's grandfather, do something because whatever. I'm getting too crazy with that.
There's a lot of panic here, and Dana comes forward and she's like, "M is special. M healed me. I was dying and M healed me." And Blaine is like, "Whoa, what? Healing?" Because obviously kind of a miracle, something awesome. So Blaine's like, "Wait a minute, what?" And it's a little bit of like, is he really caring, or does he just want to see this? Like, he seems very I don't know, kind of standoffish with this whole thing. But he looks at Dana and he's like, "So what you're saying is, I guess that makes her special." And Dana's like, "She is." And then Blaine just looks at her and shoots Wayne in the stomach.
Oh man, where did I saw something like this once before, and I had it in front of my mind when it happened. I was like, oh yes, I've seen something like this, and it's like timed. I was like, well, now you got to go and figure this out, or do your magic or whatever.
It's
or else
something I've seen before. Yeah,
right,
like
we've seen this before, but
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
It's like, oh, it was all a trick. Oh no, I made a mistake.
I was thinking it wasn't gonna work because M's freaking out. She breaks out of the chains, so she gets her last bit of strength that she has. She runs over and she gets before her father, and Dana and her they're applying pressure to the wound, and Wayne's like, I love you both.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like,
doing
bro,
a
like
little
you
speech,
cannot die now without this like. I was
I
hoping he was better because he needs an arc, bro. He needs an arc. There has to be some kind of redemption. They can't be relaying all this garbage on him of all the wrongs that he's done. And not saying that everyone goes in the end and rights their wrongs. A lot of us, I mean, I hope I never find out, but like, might end up going before they write all,
But what were they gonna do? They already did this type of scenario with Dana a few episodes back, and she came back. Were you gonna do it to Ibrahim? No, I see Ibrahim as a long lasting. He's a lifer for this. I never thought that he would be at risk. But Wayne, I can see. Wayne.
I feel like Wayne would sacrifice himself or do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Didn't you say that? You said it last episode. He's like, I can see him sacrificing himself.
So I thought this was like, I mean, what if he jumped in front of a bullet or something? No, but he gets shot, and I'm thinking, okay, he's done. Like he's gone. He's basically his eyes closing. Dana's like, Emma, could you relax your breathing? And Emma's crying even harder. She's like, I don't know what to do, which helps because all of a sudden she starts crying blood again.
Yeah.
And I think we have another image, not of her crying blood, but like of her, the next one of her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, this is also Dana on the ground. They're all crying.
They're crying, right?
And yeah.
There we go. Stalin and profiling. Look at this. Now, it would be funny if it, not funny, but let's say it would be crazy if it stained her face and just stayed like that.
Oh, wow.
It's like, I don't know. I'm like, that's how she evolves. Things starts happening. Like, she shaved the other side of the head, and the hair just never grows back for some reason. It's like,
it's funny. That's always like a trope when like someone uses their powers, they just start bleeding and stuff. Like Stranger Things and other things like that. It's like we're using so much of your energy that you like have nothing left. But
we've seen it before, with nosebleeds. But it makes sense when you do anything with high pressure and stuff. Blood comes out, right? That's what it is. At least you get nosebleeds in that way. So, but
it works. It starts healing Wayne, and Blaine.
She gets a glow.
He's looking.
She gets a glow.
Yeah, and then Ibrahim goes up to him, and I think we also have an image of this. He goes up to Blaine, and he's like, hey, look, like, let me help Em. Like, she's clearly special. I have some water that I could give her. It'll help her.
Does he say the water? He definitely says he had something. Because remember, right before this, when Em broke free, Blaine even talked to his goon over there. He was like, I thought you gave her that shot. He's like, yeah, maybe I needed a higher dosage. I don't know. But we talked about it. It's like, maybe he gave her the water shot that Ibrahim gave the other doctor. That it wasn't that other one. It was actually the good stuff, so then that way she can have this strength to pull this off. But her hands are glowing. He says, I want to help. And it almost seems like, again, back with Blaine, like he's thinking about like, maybe you're right. I mean, shoot, you're seeing a miracle at this point happen. And he even said, he's like, you say you don't want to kill anybody, right? You're talking all this preacher talk. Well, here you go. You just saw a miracle. The miracle is actually happening live right now. You're seeing the hands glow. You're seeing this guy's wounds. The only issue, and it's not this show, it's any show. Whenever they do something like this, we saw this with the Crow. Yeah, when they heal up, it also heals up the fabric, the clothes and stuff. That's just something that always gets me. It always gets me. No one ever thinks about that. It's like, no, I'm perfectly okay, fine. I'm cool with healing up wounds. I don't need to know how things are working inside. But if you're fixing up a Calvin Klein shirt or something, I want to know.
Maybe it's just the restoration of like it almost like just sinks time back. Or something like that,
there you go. Like it's reversing as if it didn't happen. Like you're going back in time. Got some time travel mixed in with this. Hey, who knows? Possibly. But anyway, that's just something that I always see whenever something like this happens. But hey, this actually happened a lot faster for Wayne than it did with Dana. Because
he just jumped back out. He was like,
he just jumped. He was ready to go. He was like, yes, I feel brand new. And I had a little tummy ache. It's gone.
Right here, Blaine goes to point a gun. again, and boom, all of a sudden bullets start flying through this church. I'm like, well, did they get back up? Like, what's the deal? But it's the general and her,
all her troops, they're there, but also some of the officers, right? TJ is there, some of them, because I could have swore he jumped in and he saw them, and that's when Lester said, hey, I can take M back to the mill. They won't even look for her there. It'll be fine. I'll help her out, stuff like that. And then they're like, yeah, we'll buy you time. Just go, get out of here.
Ibrahim does something interesting here, though. He runs up to M while the tears are still flowing, and he takes a vial, and I think he gathers some of her tears to study.
Yeah, tears for fears.
So something's probably going to come from that.
There we go. Whenever I think of any samples of anything in a jar, I always think of Egon, Ghostbusters. It's like, oh, we're gonna take a sample. Oh man.
So Lester ends up taking M, and
yep, that was that shot.
He was like, oh, I know a place that's connected to the creek. If the water's flowing from there, it would flow over here towards that mill. And they're like, yeah, I guess so. Ibrahim's like, yeah, that should make sense. So they all break out. The general walks in, and she's upset. She, doesn't see them now. We don't even know if Blaine is okay. We know he got shot. You hear him talking again, so I guess he's
I thought about that, and then I wasn't sure if that was his voice or just the radio. Maybe what we thought before was live was not live. Maybe it's taped and then airs. That type of deal. I don't know, but yeah, I'm assuming everybody in that militia is dead. All right, unless they're all bad shots, and this is an episode of G.I. Joe. And no cobras were hit. I'm sure they're dead. They're all dead. The general walks in. She's looking around. She's like, all right, well, we need to find them. We also need to search the area for other things.
So Lester gives Dana a key to his truck. And Dana's like, all right, I'm going to go get Cooper. And M, once I come back, we're getting out of here. And then M looks at her. She's like, can we split a donut from Friesen's on the way? Like, she's so pale and losing energy.
Yeah, she's out of it. Donuts is a reoccurring thing that pops up throughout the comics. Also, that was Dana's go-to. She loves donuts. It comes up here a lot, so I love that they just keep doing those little callbacks with that.
The general also is talking to someone on the phone, and it
governor
seems like
has to be governor, right?
Yeah, it has to be the governor, right? Higher status person. She doesn't say, but yeah, it has to be the governor. And then Wayne's in the car, so I guess Wayne gave himself up, and Wayne goes, so let me get this straight. You lose the survivors, then you killed a bunch of civilians in a church. I thought you were the ones that clean up messes. Like, M drinks a liquid at Lester's too, and then she falls asleep.
I mean, to be fair to the general, this is a cleaned up mess right here because this is a remote church. No one knows about it. It's like, you know what? Out of sight, out of mind. No one knows what happens here. So yeah, I could see it still working out for the general.
I would hope at this point. I mean, everything's falling apart for her. But Cooper's at a house. He's staying with I don't know her name, but
she is the lady that works at the
front
police
desk.
Station.
Right?
She was the front desk lady. Everybody here has multiple jobs. It's a small town. Times are hard, as we heard from Deputy Brent. It doesn't pay well. So
she kept talking about going on dates with Lester or something like, "Oh, Lester's gonna take me." Like in earlier episodes, just like ignored it.
Because she said they kept saying, "It's like, what do you see in Lester?" Remember that was one of the things, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you don't know what he does in the sheets." And then she said something to that effect. And then, of course, he seemed at first, because he's been there since the first half hour of the first half hour, I would say, of the first episode we're introduced to him. Remember, because the horse was found on his property, and so he's always been there, but in the background. Always involved, but it's almost like a nuisance, like just someone that's there who's always in a way. Maybe he's the wannabe know-it-all who just has nothing else going on in town. He even said that in the last one. Oh, you think the elderly can't do anything, and that when you just toss us aside. It's one of those, like, he's just the nosy neighbor of the town. And I think that's how Wayne and everyone sees it.
But that proves his point. He's like, we're able-bodied too. Like, our lives matter, this and that. Like, so it kind of goes along with his mission that we find out shortly. But
did they ever say what he did for a living before he retired?
Something that he was wealthy with books. something like that.
That was he was a writer, right? I think that's what it was,
or something. He had money because he sold some things. So I think that was
he did some stuff.
But or he was a publisher, but Dana calls Lester and he's like, yeah, Emma's fine. But don't come here right now. There's a lot of guards and stuff around, and just hold off for now. Which I said to you right then and
yeah, you did.
I was like, nope, this is not right.
You did it.
This is too sus.
But hey, the show threw another curveball, because just when you're saying that, we see the soldiers, the general soldiers out over in the creek area, and what do they see? They see one of the aliens. Yeah. Whatever are they? Can we call them alien? Souls. Souls, right? That's what I don't want to say alien anymore.
They look like aliens, but they're supposed to be souls, I guess.
And maybe that is us. Maybe we are aliens. Once our soul comes out, what does it look like? It looks like this. This is it. It looked like a weird squid or some sort. I'm cool.
I like how they're always crouching. They were like all like.
Yeah. They're crouching, but she sees this.
This one was sad. This one
was a real sad one. And she was like, you know what? We're not leaving empty-handed. We actually found something. So she said, forget it. Let the Wayne out. Doesn't even matter anymore. And I figured, because they're going to have to find space for this thing in the back, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like let Wayne out. We got something bigger.
So Cooper's keeping to himself in the corner. He's listening to music or something. He's not even looking around or talking to anybody. Okay. But Dana's walking. Dana's walking around the house, and she sees a book. And she picks up the book and she looks at the back. It's a book on water and this whole reviving qualities of water. And she looks at the back, and lo and behold, it is Aaron Weimer's book. And she's like, "Whoa, why do you have this?" And she's like, the receptionist lady comes over and she's like, "Oh, it's a book Lester gave me. I thought it was a romantic book, but it was a snooze fest." Like, was Lester trying to put her onto this to bring her into this whole thing?
I don't, maybe, but she had because all right. So this is where a little confused, because she said that it was professors. So I was assuming that once he died, they had to collect evidence, and these were all things that they picked up from his office for evidence, reach whatever it was. Because remember, they also had the tape. And she was like, "Oh, well, everyone heard his speech. You never heard one of his speeches? It's really great, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "What? No. What do you mean his speech?" And so I think we actually do have the speech, but here we go.
Lester definitely let it.
The earthly manifestation of the goddess Ganga. They regularly attribute healing and transformative powers to its flow.
And why do you have this?
This is all Lester stuff.
What? Millions performing ritual.
All right, so there you go. That just answered it for us. So it was Lester. Lester was bringing the stuff over, and I guess he was trying to convince her in some way. But I don't know.
I think he was trying to get her into it, like because she obviously, she seems so blind to everything. Because right at this clip, it was the professor talking. Then it clips over like he recorded over this VHS tape, and it's like one of them like they're doing some kind of like BDSM stuff.
Yeah.
And you got her like shackled to the wall, and then Lester turns over. He's holding a gun. He's like pointing a gun at her. Then he turns over, and you see that crazy like triangle symbol that Em was drawing before.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, he's Irish. It's like one of those Celtic symbols."
Yeah,
man. Like, what, bro? Like,
no. But I guess they don't care too much about that tape. It was like, I got plenty of these copies. Let's just tape over this. Because when the fact that it cuts off at that one point, that's when they stopped the tape. They got bored. And then I was like, all right, let's make our own tape. And then they just click record from that point on. I back in the day, I know before your time, I had a VHS, and I used to record TV shows all the time. I was obsessed with like Star Trek and Cheers. I don't know why, but that's just the way it was. And I was always recording over, or they were
I used to do this. I did something like that.
Yeah, so you would always find where it stopped. So clearly they didn't watch the whole thing, and so it was like, all right, enough of this. Let's get to our own little video.
It's just kind of funny that it happened to be that video. It works for the show, but it's just
it was funny. It was funny, but it sort of fit because then it shows him without a shirt on. We need to see that. When would that come up?
how could we be so blind to this? Like, I don't even know why in earlier episodes I didn't make a joke. I was like, imagine it's Lester, because it just seemed like one of those, like, you know,
it's good storytelling. This is what I like about these type of shows. This is what people may get upset when, like, oh, I didn't do what, no. You know what? This is what I want. I want to be surprised. You know, this whole time I'm thinking, all right, it's the brother, it's Brent's brother, and then, oh no, it's not. It's the creepy town guy. This is him. So she realizes, she sees this, she's like, that's it. I have to get over there. So she heads over to Lester's, to the mill, and this is where he starts talking a little crazy.
Yeah. He goes up to Martha, and Emma's like, you killed me. Like, why did you kill me? And he goes, well, your professor killed you. I mean, it's a bit of a technicality.
Real quick,
you killed me.
Let's clear it up here. All right. Just so people trying to figure it out, this is the story. This is exactly what happens in Revival right now. Go.
So let's break it down. Let's see what he reveals right here. Okay. It turns out that they discovered some properties in this water of Moore Creek. And they realized that the creek, he believes, is a meeting point of, I guess, the thinner layer of the world between reality and things that aren't. And so he feels that, like, whatever happens in this meeting point of that river, it could open a gateway to different things. And he's looking for a means of eternal life. Right. So he meets with the fountain of youth, basically. And he meets with the Professor Aaron, because Aaron has already been writing books about water and qualities of water. And I guess he was doing a lot of research because his wife is sick. You know, maybe he was looking at alternative healing methods and things like that. And so he worked with Lester for a bit, and they pinpointed to this river. And I'm confused as to where he knew that they had to sacrifice somebody.
He said that they needed to find a female to carry a host for it. And that was the whole thing. So they tried with Rose. Rose was
but that's my question, is like, who told him that he needed this? Like, how did he just summarize this? Was it a religion that he was already in? What is that symbol that he made?
Yeah, that I don't know, but I just figured that it just made more sense, because the female body and carrying with the womb, and they figured this is how we'll capture it. How do we capture it? We need to capture, and maybe it would produce a child, and then create life, do something. But that's when they tried with Rose, and it didn't go as planned.
So he wanted to find a person, a young woman that they could use as the vessel to hopefully start this whole thing, be the catalyst. So they chose Rose. Aaron met up with Rose. We know that he strangled her and brought her into the car.
Yeah.
Then he brought her to the lake, and almost kind of trying to take away Lester's. Lester and him joined in, and they put Rose into the lake, and they saw it glow, and they knew their work was genuine. They knew that something was starting here, so they wanted to do it again. And so M would be the loose end. M was already.
But here's the thing that I was confused. How did she die?
M?
How did Rose?
She was strangled in the water.
She was strangled in the water, but I just assumed that with the body and the soul, where they saw that happen, but nothing. It glowed, but nothing else happened.
I guess they knew that something started there.
Yeah,
but it didn't open up, I guess, the gateway just then. It showed that something could be passed through. So that was the sacrifice. Rose essentially was the sacrifice, because she didn't come back.
No,
right? She was the sacrifice within that water. Her soul went into the water and opened and connected that realm, I guess.
Yeah.
That gateway. Then when the professor was like, well, I have a sick wife. I'm messing around with one of my students. She's a loose end. She's already probably suicidal because she deals with a lot of stuff regarding her mother's death and all this stuff. Maybe I could take her out and put her in the water. So he decides to do that on his own, and almost like a way where Lester got annoyed that he maybe felt like Aaron was going to try to take
all the
discovery for himself and for his credit, maybe use that money or whatever comes from it to help his wife, or whatever healing that this creature provides to help his wife, right? And then he also brings up that he was upset with Blaine because he was upset with Aaron because he left his car on his property, and he called Blaine to tow the car off the property. The car that happened to be with, I guess, Rose in that whole situation as well.
Yep. with Rose on the back. So this right here clears Blaine completely right now. For if anyone was second guessing, he was genuine. I said it before during that interview. He had no idea that Rose was in that trunk. And it's true. He didn't.
So
he didn't know.
So Aaron brought M to the water. He choked her out into the lake because he was trying to bring this thing back. 2 rocks, one bird. Trying to get the whole thing out here. So he's suffocating her. She's drowning. Lester shows up and pushes him out of the way for a brief moment, and then all of a sudden, as M dies, she glows, and there's a giant beam of light, an explosion.
Mm-hmm.
The same big explosion that Blaine ended up seeing.
And that's what Blaine saw. And this is the birth of Revival Day. And that's what Lester kept saying. Because she, at this whole point, there was a lot that was happening here. A lot of cuts showing everything. We're putting all the pieces together of this puzzle. And she's like, you just killed me for, no. You are special. Rose, she was saying we were testing, but you got.
But he also said Rose's death and your death allowed for this to happen. It was like a sacrifice.
Rose proved it, and then exactly. And then this happened, and that she was the key. She opened up the door. She opened up the gateway, and then that's where Revival Day happens. And this is the part, I guess, that some people can get confused. It's like, all right, well, so she gets this activates Revival Day. It makes sense that she comes back, but I guess how did it trigger that it linked up all the souls to the people that had died that day or were dead? You know what I mean? Like
it had to be so powerful that it just blasted the whole realm. Like, because later on we see like a rippling effect with the different lights, so it has something to do with that. That's what I'm assuming, because whatever was in her that allowed this to happen, she literally flew out of the water.
Yeah. Oh.
And then flew back in. Like she is the catalyst. She is the one. And
no more Bruce Leroy. Now it's M. M
turns to Lester and she goes, I'm not special. You used me like Aaron, like everybody else. And then he's like, no, you are the key to immortality. Mm-hmm. You were the detonator that blew the doors right off.
Yeah. You're everything. But then we hear something crying. We hear something crying in the other room.
He's like, oh, aren't you curious to know the answers? Do you know what this is? This is your soul mother. So that's what we call them, right?
And that's it. For now on, not aliens. They're soul mothers. That's it. This is the soul mother. This is the soul. But then she actually hears her mom. Now, we heard her mom before, and her mom was talking a little crazy. She wasn't very friendly with a lot of things that she had to say. And then she left her when she found out that she was having an affair with the professor's wife. Remember that whole thing? That disgusted mom.
I didn't like the pacing of this scene for some reason. Like, everything else was so like formatted. Mm-hmm. It's like the soul mother comes out. We see the creature, looking her soul, and it walks past her, and it's purple. It's not gold like the other ones, and it goes into a well, and it just like sinks in. And he's like, "Go into the water, be one with it. But this is your decision, Just go in there." And then we see her like a creepy ghost movie. Like, her mom pops up, and she's like, come, and we hear all these different things like, you didn't do it, it's not your fault. All these different whispers, her inner thoughts, whatever was coaxing her to come in, like almost like an evil kind of thing. It didn't seem like her mom was being,
I was waiting for Rhodey to show up. I was like, he maybe thinking that the general figured out a way to just kill him with the other medication, whatever, with the doctor. And he was like, no, don't do it. They just gonna kill you like they killed me. Because at this point, we have to assume that Rhodey is still reviving, doing his own thing, because he made a deal, right? But yeah.
Well, maybe hopefully if there's a season 2, we'll find out more about Rhodey, and hopefully he has a redemption arc too. Mm-hmm. But Lester is like, go into the water, fill the void that's inside of you. And her mother is appearing, she's calling her. We hear the voices, whispers, come with me and leave this all behind you. She lays down with her mom, almost like her mom's baptizing her, and brings her down into the water. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's just like Lester drowning her, and he's wearing the ram's head. He's like,
gotcha. I got you now. I knew this will work.
Man, you just like squeeze. Like, I was like, what is happening? You and I were just like, what's going on? Like we had to watch that like twice because it was just like
it was a lot happening.
Then shooting happens and it's Dana now since she's there and she's shooting at him. And then bro's not even getting hurt by the bullets. He's turning around. He's just taking them.
His eyes are glowing. The mask comes off. He's got the glow now. So
it has a purple.
Like he was trying to. Now I don't know if the headpiece connects in some way. Does it help? Or is it just for show? It's just for his giggles, to have that outfit.
It's the ritualistic.
That's what I'm saying. The ritual, like, does it help? Because it looks like he's trying to transfer her power into himself, and that's how his eyes were glowing. Because that threw me off.
This seems like some like ritualistic voodoo type. I don't know if it's channeled to like anything from where the area or some book that he found or something that's passed down generationally. You know what I mean? Like it seems that he was well versed in this kind of thing, and he was looking for that meeting point, and he found that. And it was like he had to put everything he's learned together. Now
and I don't remember. See, again, someone in the comments, if you can remember this, for what he did for a living. We said he wrote books, but maybe it was like about the occult or stuff like that. Maybe this was just something he was always into, and that's how he connected with the professor, because the professor talking about water and life, and of course, water is life. You need water for anything to grow, so it just makes sense. He's like taking it to the next level. Like that. Yeah, something's going on. But anyway, the point is, he wound up getting a little glow in him, but not enough that he can't be revived. He died. At least they made it look like he died.
Yeah. Well, M shows up out of nowhere, and Lester just drops to the ground, and she's holding his heart. But then she like drops to the ground, and then Dana's like, no, and she holds her, and she's like we could tell that.
Oh man, that was crazy.
Everything's falling apart right here, and She's like, I want to go on this trip with you. Like she's just like reminiscing.
It was good. It was like, was it here? No, it was before when she said the one last adventure. Or this was
right here.
It was here, right? It was
finally. M says they can finally have that adventure together.
You already did. Sorry. You already had it. Come on now. You're running around, all this craziness, getting shot at by the government. Everything else is gonna be really boring after this. Exactly. I'm sorry, you can't top this. This is not a day in the life of anybody else outside of this town.
Her eyes start glowing, her mouth starts glowing. It reminds me of like Avatar, The Last Airbender, when he was trying to take the powers from the fire. He just like purple light shooting out of her mouth.
Very cool scenes. Great, very cool with the
Then we see a purple blast, and a rippling effect. Dark screen. Camera's blurry. We see Wayne looking at Danny. He's like, "Where's Martha?" And then, boom! 35 days later. I don't know about 35, but 35 days later.
Why not?
And we hear the mayor talking in an interview, and he's talking about the revivers are still among us. We can't let history repeat itself. He's talking about how he doesn't want the revivers to feel unsafe with who they are, and the governor is going to pass a bill that claims that they have rights as citizens. So like everything all of a sudden has changed. I don't know why.
They just get to live. I mean, we definitely need a season 2, because that means that the quarantine is over. So these people, they can leave. They can leave and go out into the world.
General Kale's actions apparently were unsanctioned. So
yeah, man.
I guess the governor's gonna be like, "Nah, I didn't hire this person."
No, because remember, the governor got what she wanted. I mean, the general. She got the soul mother, if we want to just call it. That's it. It's like, man, let's experiment on this. We're good. Let's go. Powerful.
Oh, true. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, we got that. They took that one out. They took Wanda's. So
Cooper is missing M, and Dana brings up how Cooper's seeing a therapist, and they're trying to get him to feel a little better. I mean, we knew this kid needed therapy from the jump, so it's nice that they brought that up. They're in a different house though. Cooper's like, are you gonna help me unpack? It's like, it's not my fault that all this is happening. And then she goes, sometimes life is not fair, Coop.
Yeah. But in fact, just go to school. That's how unfair it is. You're not getting any time off. No time, never more. I mean, come on now. Wasn't there a whole movie about that? Like, at least in college, that if your bunkmate, if your roommate passes away, then you automatically pass. Remember that whole thing?
No.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure also in regular school too, if you have an immediate death in the family, someone within the home, then they just bypass you for the entire semester. Go ahead, leave in the comments. I could be wrong, and it could be all wild. TV.
I remember my professors never cared.
There was a movie that was based on that because there was some guy was failing. It was a comedy. It doesn't sound like it's funny, but it was. It was a comedy. He was failing, and then he found this one guy on campus who was like a drunk and all this. He was a reckless guy. Did all these horrible, crazy stunts, and they were like, "Hey, get him as a roommate because he's gonna die anyway. And once he dies, then you'll pass for the semester."
I remember in my college that the kids would be like, "Yo, get hit by the shuttle. We get free tuition." Like,
oh boy, so jump in front of the shuttle bus. There you go. That's one way to get it, right? But yeah,
speaking of shuttle buses, Wayne's career is hit, and he is out of the office. I mean, I guess it's a good thing for him, and he's getting replaced by JP, John Paul, and he hands him his badge, and he's like, you're the right guy for the job, and he walks out.
But he's an intern. He's I'm just here to I don't do all the politicking. I don't do all that stuff. Well, obviously, I didn't do a good job with that either.
Or is Dana gonna get the role?
Well, it's like he said, it's an interim. He says he's taking time off. This is Wayne. Dana's still on the job. They didn't offer it to Dana. They could have done that, but no, they didn't. JP's got this position here, so.
Then we have Ibrahim showing up to bring Dana donuts. It's like is there like one donut shop in the place, but it's the same thing. He brings it to her. And then we find out that Ibrahim's going to be teaching at a college. I wrote down, is he taking Aaron's job?
Yeah, well, she sort of said it. She brought it
like up. It's just a temp job. Like, I don't
know. I know it turned out to be a temp job for Aaron too. Oh, but don't.
He was like, yeah, it keeps me closer to Moore's Creek for my studies. And then Dana hits him with is that the only thing that you want to stay close to, man. Algie? And he just looks at her and he's like, I was like, bro, come on, man.
This is what when I said before. I said I wish we were back in the 1980s. In the 1980s, he would have kissed her. We would have played some Billy Idol or something. Something else would have kicked in, and it would have been fun. It would have been fine. But no, he still plays the clueless.
Like, are they trying to make this like a slow burn romance? Because bro, it's not hitting. It's not hitting. It's not hitting the same way. It's just sad. It's sad at this point. I would take the hint and be like, bro, like. She's not interested. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like read into this.
But she even, and I said it while watching, I was like, oh, she's got to make the move. She's got to realize. And she does. She's like, no, wait, we're going to do this again. We're going to, that date whole thing. It's like, oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay.
Bro, like, again, that response is horrible.
Yeah, that was like, oh, man.
I wouldn't want to chase that. I would be like, all right.
Oh, no, you know what?
You're not interested. It's fine.
You're not interested.
You want to be friends. It's fine.
You take the jelly donut.
Oh, my God.
Get to stepping. I'm done with this. I changed my mind. Lose my address.
How did they even link up at that bar the first time? Like, where was that courage? Liquid courage? Like, what was
it?
That?
Sounds like there was no courage. She was drunk. She picked him, and he went along with it. Remember, that was his
I just
whole
felt
thing.
like he would have been like, "Oh no, I don't do this. Get away from me."
It was too fast. It was too fast, and some people need that. They need someone to be aggressive, and that's what she brought. And I think even here in this scene, just like calling him back, it's like, no. Listen, we're gonna go again. It's like, okay, all right, fine. And then after they do the first day, listen, we're gonna get married. What? Yeah, we're getting married. You're gonna get me a ring. I'm going to tell you my ring size. You're going to go pick it up. All right.
Like, I guess.
Yeah. I guess so. Am I keeping it? Yeah. You're staying there forever. This is how it works.
She's like, let's dent a car and not leave another note. And he's just like, all right.
Yeah. Okay. See, I would have liked if that's when, if anything, that's when he wakes up and he says, oh, okay. And then, lean and give her a kiss or something. It just, it felt like something was missing.
So Dana gets visited by her ex-roommate, M's ex-roommate, and she's looking through her stuff. Yeah, and she sees a journal and some writings and some poetry and stuff, and she sees the whole Myrtle Beach flyer because that was something she really wanted to do. And as she's reading this poem, we hear M's voice reading the poem, and we see Rhodey sitting on the ground of his van, sitting in his van, just like kind of writing, I guess, songs. We see Wayne visiting Patty's grave. And then, they were talking about how her roommate was talking about how much she missed her. And this is an interesting part. And I hope this gets answered at some point. But Dana looks at her and she's like, are you the one that told her to go to the bridge? She's like, no, I never did. She's like, well, then who would have? She's like, oh, it's maybe like someone from those online forums that she was always chatting with. Like, why would she bring that up now? Why would she bring that up now? It's like
I'm
what?
Trying to find that song. Oh man, I'm blanking on the and I know that I kept saying, I was like, oh, this is when they should play a song from the Breakfast Club. Don't you forget about me. And then, you know, while they're showing their whole little montage, it's like, because it's everything. You got Rhodey, he's probably writing a song about M, you know, and then he's
but again, this online forum thing, why did she not bring this up before?
This didn't make much sense. This also was like throwing another little twist to the story, right? Because it's like, oh well, she was at the bridge. We all assumed because that's where the mom and it's the anniversary, that type of deal. But that turns out that wasn't the case. She's like, no. And it's like, didn't you tell her? I didn't tell her. We weren't really cool like that. We're roommates. We weren't buddies.
Yeah, I didn't tell her to do all that. And then Dana looks at M's computer and she sees that someone was coercing her. I thought to kill herself or to go to the bridge or go to the bridge where that bridge where the mom had the accident with the deer, I guess, crossing this whole thing. Now, where the deer was crossing on that bridge, that's kind of crazy, but she went to that bridge and we see the messages. Someone was saying, you know, go there, go visit the bridge. And Dana calls May and asks for a favor. Then Wayne calls Dana and he goes, hey, you know, I'd like to watch Cooper. And she's like, no, he blames you for what happened with him. Why? What does he blame?
Did more time pass? Isn't he still in? No, he's home now from school. I don't.
He's in the house, but Wayne wants to.
I get that. It just all right. So I guess.
But my question is for you: why is Cooper associating Wayne with this, like, with M?
I don't know. This is a way to get Cooper out of the picture. You know, I was like, how can we keep him off camera? And just put him.
I'm gonna get you a shirt like Team Anti Cooper, bro. Like
it's not that it's just the way he delivers his lines. He's a young kid. He's young and acting, and it's hard, I would imagine, to be that age and was like, hey, we're gonna explain the situation, and these are the feels that we need from you. Some can do it, some can't. He couldn't really deliver it, and it's like, all right, you know what? It's time for you to go to school. It's time for you to go to your room. It's time for you to go to bed. It's always for you to time to get off camera. That's what that was.
They show him away every scene.
They were always shoo.
In the comic, he's a lot more vocal.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like the way he's portrayed in the comic and here, two different things. Whatever.
But Dana basically says to her dad, like, look, he's in therapy. We're trying to, you know, get him in a good spot. And then she pushes the initiative with him. She goes, Dad, if you want to talk, just you and me, we can talk. And almost the same way Ibrahim was. He was like, I guess, like, are people like scared to talk to her? He was like, we'll chat soon, I guess. So then she gets another call, and now it's May. The IP address is from the Weimer house. Whoa.
Well, this is no surprise, though. She said it was like, yeah, obviously it was Aaron. Right? He was luring her out there so that way he can go and kill her. There we go. Case closed with that, right? But she says no. She links it to the wife. How do you link it directly to the wife? I work in IT. You have IP goes to your home. It will be linked to her bill, unless she's the one that pays the bill. But that's not it anymore. She says, yeah, it links to the house. But really, she did some digging on the wife and found out that the wife was not assigned to visit M when she was in custody. She requested to be the therapist to talk to M. But then I also brought up, well, the town is under quarantine. How many therapists do you have in this small town? As you see, everyone has double jobs. Everyone's busy doing multiple things. So who knows? Who could have? Maybe it could have been one of the other officers who comes in. He's like,
my therapist is also my dentist.
Exactly, my therapist is a dentist. No, it's a Randy from the morgue. He also works as a therapist.
Dana freaks out with this news, and I was wondering, like, okay, what's going on here? So Dana goes to the house. She's knocking on the Weimer house. We see the chair that Miss Weimer normally gets her treatments, and it's empty. We see someone knitting. So I'm like, okay, what's happening? We now see it's M's sweater with the skull on it, and there's like a little bit of red hue to it. They made it like a little more refined. Then we see literally M back putting the jacket on. She turns around, and then the camera pans out. She's like, I'm looking out of a window. The camera pans out, and we see them in a house by I was thinking Lake Superior. They mentioned that previously before.
Yeah,
it could be anywhere, honestly.
This just brought back memories of The Crow with Brandon Lee, R.I.P. I love The Crow. I love The Crow. I love the soundtrack. Play The Cure at this moment, because there was that same thing where he went back to the house. He starts putting on the face paint, and then you just see the light flimmer on his face, and he's in the window, and then the camera pans out, and then we see all of Detroit in the house and the whole thing. Yeah, so this had that zoom, and basically this is key here because we see that this house is out in nowhere land. So she's definitely remote now. A lot of questions, right? A lot of questions.
What is she doing with her?
Does Dana know? Dana would have to know, right? You don't think so? I mean, what, did they just leave her body, or she disappeared? We know that at least she says she disappeared, but did she rematerialize somewhere else, or did she collapse? The body sunk into the water in the creek and then floated away. What we definitely know is there's no. Yeah, whatever the water was,
she was knocked down. She woke up and was gone.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the other thing.
Unless she just like respawns.
She respawned.
She just comes out of the river like all the other ones did. But those are some questions, right? Another question I had was, what was the whole deal with the body parts and them selling all that? Was that just another side story, and they kind of closed that chapter with
that was definitely a side story. They never went back to that. So if there is a season 2, we still need to know who the big boss is, because we don't know. The whole thing with the $10,000 being paid to clean things up, maybe that was Lester, because he had the books.
Well, he said that he wanted Brent to tie out the
loose ends. So he did that, but then the brother, the twin, where's the twin? We don't see him at all in this. So was he part of the group? I guess not. He wasn't part of the group. Now that we know that it was Lester doing all this other stuff going on. We definitely know. Oh wait, no, we don't know. Yeah, no. I was gonna say maybe the checks were linked up with Lester as well, but no, that makes no sense, because they said that their supplier, the big boss, was out of town
on the phone.
Yeah, he was outside. He was out of town. He wasn't in town.
Unless it was the governor. But then that also wouldn't make. I mean, like, I don't know. They're trying to find another way to get reviver parts, but then they already had the revivers.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
They could have just chopped them up there.
They already had them all in that little compound. Remember the encampment? They could have just.
Maybe some things are just and we'll find them out later.
Well, yeah, it's by design. But hey, we got one major story part of this plot answered, and that was the whole thing that happened with Rose M. They didn't drag this on.
Yeah, with the angels are.
We know it. We know it. The souls, exactly. We have that answered. So we got some of the big ones. Some of the big ones answered.
Cool. Well, I want to say thank you to everybody that was following from the jump. If you made it this far, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for sticking with us. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for subs. We're still covering other shows here. We got Chief of War that we're still covering. We got Dexter Resurrection, still covering that. I got Terminal List coming. We got Slow Horses. I mean, maybe even Spartacus. I don't know. There's so many shows.
I know we're covering a lot of shows, and I don't want people to think like, oh, it's just this show and this and that and skip out and stuff. We're kind of viewing this in a way of we're cinema lovers. We want to project this like almost like a book club. We review something, you join us on this ride, and that could be the community that we're trying to build, which I think would be really cool.
That's it. That's why you comment, we jump in, we talk, we reply back. We don't just give you a like.
We're just trying to have fun with this. We love this stuff, and that's the point of it all. And if you like it too, then be with us, please, and share and tell your friends about it, and let's just build this community up.
That's it. Cool. Let's just build it, and then also let us know, what are you watching? What else are you watching? Because besides this, there's too much to cover. You can't cover everything. I've been watching Twisted Metal. That was another one I've been watching over on Peacock. It's all right. It's a lot of action. It's a little crazy. The Institute. Been watching some of that. That's a Stephen King, based off of Stephen King. That's another interesting one. Not so crazy about it. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that.
I know people are like watching Wednesday season 2, but I heard a lot of mixed things about it. I'm excited for future stuff. Ted Lasso season 4.
Can't wait for Ted Lasso. Whenever that comes, that's going to be fantastic.
The last season of Stranger Things, I'm excited for.
Stranger Things.
Whether we'll cover that or not, we'll see.
Yeah.
But
a lot of stuff. But go ahead in the comment. What are you guys watching? What are you looking forward to? And we'll see if it links up with some of the things that we're looking forward to. And then maybe we'll just take it from there. there's a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff. All right, everybody. Thanks again for all the comments, for sticking with us, for just being part of the community. So we will see you Friday, I guess. It's after this is done. If you're following us with Chief of War, you'll see us there. And then, of course, Lawrence and I are doing the Dexter. And then that's it. So, again, thanks, everybody, for the support. And have a good week.
Bye.